Hello everyone, Edmard here with the commentary for you guys on Virtual Formula Drift. Sorry for any technical difficulties. We're trying to get it up and running, trying to get everyone ready. Spitzy's been having a few issues. But right now I think we're waiting for this mailman guy. I'm not going to say the beginning of his name because it might offend some people. But yeah, this guy is going for his first run here.
And here.
Hello, Stu. Yeah, I've already started the live stream for everyone.
Hi guys.
And so, yeah, it looks like Mailman's taking it pretty easy at the moment. Would have hoped for a more consistent line. He did a lot better on his practice run, actually. It's a bit unfortunate, but yeah, pretty slow, pretty shallow angle, not very good line. So I don't know what we can expect from that, really.
He's got a pretty bizarre paint job, hasn't it? It's almost like a massive sticker bomb on the car. It looks pretty awesome, to be fair.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Pardon?
Not really sure what's going on here, guys. This could be a second run.
Okay, just so viewers are aware, obviously the layout of the course, as the drift is coming up, this is the first turn, and he has got to hit a speed zone of 60 miles an hour. He's actually just driving through the course at the moment, but the actual second clipping point is an outside clipping point. Just after the first turn coming into the lollipop section. The third clipping point is a lollipop section where you can have one tyre drop in the dirt area, and that is a speed zone trap of 45 miles per hour. The fourth clipping point is near the wall, so as you can see, just after the lollipop section coming through, drifters should be trying to style it out, trying to get some big angle coming against that wall. Obviously judges are looking for some style, so that will boost your points. And the fifth one is an inside clipping point just after that area. Obviously you got all the cars on track at the moment here. It's quite bizarre, just looking through. Interesting display of different liveries, and this guy's completely backed up into this poor guy's car here.
Okay, so trying to figure out who's going next. Do we know who's going next to it?
Okay, so running up next is Family Guy 420, I believe, is the gamer tag, and he's in a Chevy Camaro with a funky paint job. He's got Yoda on the side of the car, which should automatically give him qualification. It's an awesome paint job, looking pretty good. I believe that was his first practice run.
Yeah, Yoda and some graffiti and some Forza text. Looks like a bit of miscommunication there from between the judges and competitors at the moment. Don't really know what's going on, to be honest. There's a few competitors not really knowing what they're doing, and they've had to wait for ages for the live stream to come up, so we're not really sure what's going on at the moment. We're trying to get everyone organised. Obviously it's a bit difficult, especially when people don't listen, but never mind. Sure it'll all get sorted eventually. Okay, so Family Guy 420, here he goes, exiting the 50 roll, hitting 69 miles an hour upon initiation. Oh, he's given it too much and gone off. That's going to be a 0. It's unfortunate, really. We want to see some consistent runs. We want to see some really competitive runs here for qualifying. And, you know, unfortunately I wasn't able to join in last night with the stream, but so far it hasn't exactly been the sort of standard that I was hoping for. Alright, so here he goes again. Coming out the 50 roll. Reaching slightly faster speed of 73 as he initiates. Not bad line here. He's taking it easy, trying not to make any mistakes. He knows that this is his one chance to get it right.
Unfortunately, just coming through on that turn, he did get a bit of a tyre drop. I think the tyre drop rule is only available actually on the 3rd clipping point, where you can't go in the dirt area.
That was not too bad, actually. It was a good consistent line throughout the course, and you know, at least we saw something that was actually half decent. Slightly faster speed of 73 again. Not bad line. Making mistakes. He knows that this is his one chance to get it right. Okay. Chelsea Defno. Chelsea Denofa. Well, it looks like Family Guy 420 got a 77 for the run he managed to complete. Not a bad score. And now we're going to see Chelsea Denofa go for his run. It's an interesting gamer tag. Some of you might recognise that name. I doubt it's actually him.
Oh god, I've got a phone call.
Alright, decent line going on here. Oh, I want to see people getting nice and close to that wall tap. It's an interesting start to his run, but you know, it's not too bad. Alright, so judges are deliberating at the moment, trying to work out whether they want to judge Chelsea Denofa's first run. It's an interesting wheel choice for his car. Can't say I would like to run that for my Mustang. Right, here he goes for his second run. Lots of handbrake coming into the first corner, lots of corrections. Again, more handbrake because he's coming around this first clip, second clip even. Could have been a bit wider there and not very close to the wall. Nice angle coming into the last clipping point. Would like to have seen a bit more of a consistent run there from Chelsea Denofa. With such a game attack, you need to be proving yourself, really. Looks like on the side of his car he's got a shout out to Team Gingerbeard. I presume that's his team. Okay, so looks like next up we have JJ Rall. Sporting a pretty cool paint job there. It's not bad. I'm liking the wolf on the side and the British flag represent. Nice wide entry into the first corner. Hitting that clipping point, but he's bogged down. This isn't a bad practice run here. Nice and close to that wall, but he's missed the last clipping point. Hopefully, for his proper run, he can be getting some really good runs down. And Chelsea Denofa looks like he got 57 on both of his runs, which is interesting. I guess it's good for having consistency. Okay, so JJ Rall is going to be going for his first proper run here. It's looking promising so far. Hopefully he can deliver. Welcome back, Stewie. We've got some guy here rocking a pretty cool paint job. What do you think?
I'm not really the biggest fan of paint jobs, but this is quite awesome. He's incorporated obviously a Union Jack there. He's just overshot that clipping point now, I feel, coming into the second turn, and it looks like he's stalled out just after Lollipop. But as the paint job goes, it looks very a bit of a British theme going through it, and obviously he's a bit of a monster fan. He's just slapped a load of stickers on. Looks like he's almost copied a bit of a Team Jap Speed kind of theme going on the hood there. But it's an interesting paint scheme, and hopefully this drifter can do better in his second run here, because he's quite a competitive drifter on the Drift Lounge himself. So hopefully we'll see slightly something better here.
Alright, so coming out the 50 roll, I think the speed of 80-ish as he's initiating. Consistent 66 coming into the second clip. Could have got a bit closer on the outside run there.
Yeah, he could have afforded to go a bit wider just to line himself up for this turn. Even though got very close to the wall here. He did hit the 45 miles an hour though coming through. He hasn't had the best final turn there, but I mean he's got a good decent speed coming in. Could have styled it out a bit more, I suppose, as compared, but maybe it's just not feeling the track tonight. But we'll just see what happens. It could be a good personal run for him. I mean, I don't personally know the drifter myself, so this might be actually a good run for him.
Alright, next up we have Matt 11. That's Matt spelt like matte paint. He's rocking a Volvo for this, which is pretty cool. Pretty grassroots. He's not looking too bad actually. It's a real nice line he's got going through there. Alright, let's hope for something good here. I'm liking that he's using a Volvo. I mean, here in England, when you go over to sort of drift meets and practice days, sometimes you might be able to catch a Volvo in there, much like the Volvo is running today. And it's really cool to see them sometimes. Right, Matt's just waiting for his call so he can go for his run. Okay, we just learned that JJ Rall just got a 77, I believe it was.
He got a 75.
75, that's it.
Overall for the run. Again, talking about this Volvo that Matt's using, it looks pretty cool. He's added a bit of a rust damage effect to the car itself. I like the kind of blue. It's almost like a Triumph Stag blue that he's using as well, which is pretty awesome. He's a little bit off the line for me coming into this final turn. He's managed to keep the speed up, and he's got a tyre drop coming in to this turn. He hasn't really sacrificed some angle here for that wall tap there, which we would like to see some drifter attempt tonight. Overall, a fairly decent run. Again, it's quite fast. It's within the speed zone, so it'll be interesting to see how the judges judge this.
Yeah, it was also around there. You might have noticed he did get 2 tyre drops. He dropped 2 tyres coming out of the third clipping point. So don't know if that's going to affect how the judges score him. I guess we'll wait and see. He's going to be going for his second run soon.
Okay, so this drifter is going for his second run. A very good speed coming in here. He's managed to hit 65 miles an hour above, obviously, the 60 that's present. Better line, better run from previous. Maybe he's heard us on the live stream, and he's going to hopefully attempt a bit more angle towards this wall here. Slightly off the final clipping point here, but he's done well compared to the last run. It seems like his nerves are shaking off a bit, and he's just done an overall a better impressive run. So
yeah, it looked like he almost stopped on that last corner. Okay, next up we have HKS Slider. Rocking the Chevy Camaro. Nice wide entry into that first corner. The wide entry allows you to get a nicer clip on the second clipping point. It looks like he's got plenty of angle going, and he's quite laggy for me actually, and waving her out a bit.
yeah, he's also quite laggy on the live stream as well, from Spitzy's point of view, obviously. So it'd be interesting to see how the judges can actually see this. It might well be laggy if you've got the live stream up yourself, Ed. I know I haven't got it up. It's not too bad, but it is bouncing a little bit now.
Yeah, I think it's more his connection than our connection, to be honest.
It could be because the lab's quite full as well. Obviously, there's a lot of different connections going on.
I think if he's laggy for Spitzy, then he's laggy for everyone. Spitzy's got a pretty damn good connection. Okay, we've just learned that Matt's best run was a 76, and that was his second run. So not a bad score there from Matt 11. Looks like HKS Slider is suffering from a bit of lag issue here. Got a bit smashed up by the looks of it. I didn't really see what happened. It was one moment he was ready to go, and the next minute he was in the wall on my screen. Didn't really see what happened at all. I think he's going to have to take 5 minutes to go to the pits, sort his car out, because that lag slap couldn't have done any good. Yeah, I just looked on the live stream, and luckily the live stream's a bit behind of the actual live thing that's going on, so yeah, it looked like he just got lag slapped from behind. It's unfortunate. Luckily his engine still works pretty good, so he's gone back to the pits. So while we wait for him to get back, it's Fade Ninja going for his practice run. He's running the Boss 302 Mustang. I don't know what it is with Mustangs, but I find them really heavy and awkward to drift. Well, the later ones anyway. The 05 is actually really nice, I find. But especially this Boss 302 I find quite difficult to handle. But I guess it's me being used to running JDM cars all the time. Used to my lightweight cars, being nimble on their feet. Anyway, here we go, Fade Ninja, going for his first run. Could have entered with a bit more speed there. He's had to take a shallow line. Not sure what line he's taken really. Missed 2 clipping points so far. Get nice and close to that wall. Yeah, very interesting line going on there. Not really sure. We're pretty shallow in a lot of them. He actually got really close to that wall. It didn't look that close, but the Boss 302 actually has a hitbox around it, which means you can crash into walls, even if you're like a foot away from the wall. So he did pretty well for that wall tap there, but unfortunate that the rest of his run was a bit sketchy. I think Fade Ninja's going for his second run now. Coming in with even less speed than before, and again a shallow line. I'm not sure he's actually familiar with this track yet. Again, he's using this very odd line. I'm not sure how the judges are going to judge this, whether they'll still consider it, and or whether they'll give him a 0 or not. I'm not really sure. It's unfortunate, and some people just don't put the effort in to familiarise themselves with the circuit that they're going to be doing and what the judges expect of them.
I mean, he could generally just be struggling. Against this isn't the most popular section that people drift day in, day out, as opposed to like Suzuka and Silverstone sections that we're all familiar with. Just before these guys are doing the judging, and before we go into the next guy, we've got some shout outs on VFD. Obviously main sponsors, we've got Quantum Designs, BKS Media, BK's, we've all known him, Bally, he's on the forums, check him out on his media channel on YouTube. Also Spitzy is hosting tonight, so check his YouTube channel out also for very entertaining uploads. We also have yaydrifting.com is one of the sponsors that we are working with tonight, and also japandriftmagic.blogspot.com is also worth a mention that we're giving out tonight. These are the main sponsors that we've got for VFD. It's looking on track now that we are following HKS Slider again. This is his second run, we believe. Obviously he's had to fix his car. He may have penalty points reducted for that. He's just struggled to hit the 60 miles an hour needed on the speed zone. A better line, even though it's quite laggy, it looks like an overall a better run. He's made an attempt to try and get close to the wall. My screen is not lagging too bad, so I'll see. It'd be interesting to see what the judges think of this run.
Okay, apparently that was his first run. He just got back from his practice when he got smashed up. So looks like he's going to be going for his second run pretty soon. It's unfortunate that lag can sometimes get in the way with proceedings here and drift events on Forza. But, you know, it's something you've got to live with, something you've got to compensate for. And I'm sure the judges will do their absolute best to give a fair judgment. It looked like he had a pretty consistent line and decent speed going through there. So, you know, I think the only really difficult thing with the judging would probably be angle, seeing as he's constantly waving around. Not really sure what angle he's pulling. Anyway, he's going through the second run here, coming in at a good speed of 80 miles an hour. Nice wide entry, giving him a good line into the outside clip. cutting it slightly shallow, giving good angle into the next clipping point, but that sacrificed his line a little bit, could have got that outside clip a bit better. Coming into the last corner with plenty of angle, and nice and close to that clipping point, and the wall, very nice, we like that. Well, if it wasn't for the lag, we'd be able to get a really nice run out of this guy, but I'm sure the judges are doing their absolute best, give a nice fair judgment. Alright, so next up we have XE Baggins. Former teammate of mine, he's a good guy.
Current teammate of mine, he's also a good guy. Baggins has been working really hard behind the scenes trying to get this track down. He had a few hiccups earlier, but it's interesting to see. He's in his R34 with his interesting hand-cut paint job. I believe this has been painted by the guys at Quantum Designs or XE on the not XE, sorry, Core Concepts, the thread that's been made, the VFD thread. Looks pretty awesome, to be fair. Pretty good practice run coming in there. Could probably do with getting a bit more angle on some of the turns, trying for a bit more of an aggressive run. We've got the scores coming in for Fade Ninja. He managed to get 48 on his first run and a 52.5 overall for the second run. So it'll be interesting to see.
Alright, so we just heard that Slider, HKS Slider, just got a 68.5 on his first run and a 77 on his second run, which isn't bad at all. Okay, Baggins is going to be going for his first run here. I'm expecting something good out of this guy. He's got the clan to prove it, so hopefully he's going to deliver.
Yeah, he's almost like I wouldn't say the runt of the team, but he's the guy who's the one to watch for the future for XE. He's an exciting little drifter. He's managed to hit the speed zones in that area, and he's actually braving the wall, which is nice to see. He's also a wheel drifter, so he's going to have that little bit more control. Looks like he's just evaded a stall there on the final turn. I'm not sure how the judges will judge this. So it'll be interesting to see.
He got caught on the bumper the last tipping point there, as he sort of dropped a tyre on the inside slightly, and it probably caught him up a little bit. But yeah, he's looking good now. I think he should be good for his second run. I'm hoping that he's going to get a more consistent run down for his second run. His practice run was slightly better than that first run.
I haven't actually been in this scenario before where you're waiting in the lobby, waiting for your scores. Obviously, it could be a daunting factor. Maybe nerves as well. You look behind you, you got all these other drifters just waiting to see what scores you get, just so they got something to benchmark themselves against.
Here we go, second run. Faster entry here from Baggins. Nice angle. Could have got a bit better on that outside clip. Bringing it out to it. Slight tyre drop.
Another tyre drop coming onto this on the approach to the fourth turn. It is worth noting in the rules stated for this track that third clipping point just after the dirt area, you can actually have one tyre drop in the dirt, which is also the speed zone as well. So depends how much you want to set yourself up for that corner. Obviously you don't have to have a tyre drop, but you are allowed one.
I think that just shows that this track, as you're reaching that outside clip where they're allowing a tyre drop, it's where the road really bottlenecks, and so they're just allowing the drifters a little bit of breathing space.
We can actually hear the judges in the Xbox Live party just twiddling their thumbs here, trying to work out what's the scores for the drifters. So it's interesting to hear in the background. Obviously, I'm not going to give you any spoilers of the scores until they actually come up on our screen for us to say out. But it's interesting, some of the conversations they have, all the different factors that they're putting into the actual scores itself. So obviously Baggins is eagerly awaiting his score. He obviously feels he hasn't done as well in the first run, and possibly not as good on the second run either. If both runs were combined, you'd have a decent run there.
Alright, so going for his first practice, well, his only practice run here is MSR Hydra. I was drifting with him earlier, he was doing pretty good, so hopefully he can bring out all the stops here. I didn't even know he was French. Did you know he was French?
To be honest, man, I don't even know who he is.
You never drifted with MSR Hydra?
Unfortunately, I don't really drift with the DL that much. I only kind of keep myself to myself in private lobbies, but I'm going to start making more of an effort, because the amount of drifters that I've met and talked about since obviously the pairs competition and obviously what we're seeing at VFD, it's fantastic. Obviously I'm hoping I can kick back with some of these people, especially with like yourself and Spitzy as well. I didn't really associate myself with you guys just because I haven't really been on the game, and obviously co-commentator now, we've obviously got a lot more in common, and there's a lot more in common with these drifters as well. Everyone's doing their best, and they're all a friendly bunch as well, so I'm up for drifting with these guys. I just haven't heard of them, unfortunately, so it's interesting to hear. Okay, we've got the scores in for Exy Baggins. His first run, he got a 72.5. The final run, the run in question, he actually got a high score in 90.5 for that run, so he'll be very, very pleased with that run. I'm quite surprised for that myself as well, so I'll be talking to him obviously when we have a break next, just see how stoked he is about that. And 90.5 is a pretty sweet firm run on this, but is it enough? There are drifters out there who can absolutely bust this section out, so we'll see how that plays out later.
So here we go, MSR Hydra going for his first run here. Really nice entry, getting really nice clipping points here. This is a really good first run. You should be really pleased with this so far. Very consistent line. I have to say, you should get a really good score for that, and that's a really good banker. And if I were him, I'd go all out on the second run.
You've got to be questioning yourself now, haven't you? If Baggins managed to get a 90.5, this guy is looking at a really high scoring run. And I'm ashamed to say I actually don't know the drift. I didn't even know he existed. But this is shock factor. That, I mean, he's probably got friends that say, he does this all the time. But I mean, from a neutral standpoint, looking at this is awesome, man. It is good stuff. And hopefully, everyone who's tuning into the live stream can actually see this. And we're seeing someone here that's new to me, could be odd to you guys, but he's done a really good run here. So interesting to see how he plays this run out. He's coming in with 71 miles an hour. He's actually hit the speed zone at 68, taking a nice wide line. Obviously you've allowed one tie drop, and he's done that here to set himself up very close to that clipping point as well. Let's see if he can style it out against this wall. Very close to the wall. That was awesome. That was incredible. Final turn wasn't as great, but the style that he's put into this run is amazing. And it's nice to see from this car as well. It's not the most popular Mustang that's on the market for drifters to use in the game. So, a very impressive run. I will be absolutely gutted if he got lower than Baggins' score, because this was an insane run.
It was perfect, wasn't it? It was the clipping points in that second run. He was just getting them absolutely perfect. That outside clip on the just after the first clip is best done when you kind of clip the outside, come off it a little bit, and then just kiss the dirt drop as you come out of that clipping point. And he did that perfectly, and I think he should get a really good score for that.
We'll just wait for the judges to tally up the score for this run. I'm amazed, man. I'm just, you know, I wouldn't say gobsmacked, but Jesus, he's come the closest to hitting that wall tonight without actually hitting it.
Yeah, that second run was really, really close to that wall tower. I've got really big appreciation for people going for wall taps because it's something that I love doing. And so seeing people come majorly close to a wall,
So
I love it, man.
I'm just going to follow Hakasuka because he's running up next, FNK Hakasuka. I think he's the first guy I've seen in the Trino tonight, 1986.
Alright. We just heard from the judges.
I'll let you do this, Ed.
Yes, 94 for the first run and 95.5 the second run. So that's a really good, really good
high score. You should be proud of that. That's an amazing score. Just looking at Hakasuka here, he's tried to get closer to the wall there, and he's just clipped it. I'm not sure how much damage judges look at on the car from my wall tap. Obviously, I haven't been a part of this event before, but you would say that, judging by the impact that he took against that wall during the practice run, if this was an actual run, if you were judging it, it'd be... would you say that's a fail or a win? Like, how far would you go with a wall tap? I mean, how close do you have to get?
You know, some people get really critical with wall taps some people believe that it's best where you don't touch the wall at all, but right there, you know, the A86 just crumples like a tin can, really, so he didn't really get particularly close. He just ever so slightly touched it, and unfortunately Forza then simulated that by making it crumple into the back of his car. It looks like he's had a big mistake there. All four wheels off the track. Which
I'm guessing he might have stalled it into that corner. He might not put the clutch down. It's looking like he straightened up or something. He entered in. I was looking at the speed. It wasn't the fastest, but he was gearing himself up for that corner, and he just went straight and maybe transitioned a little bit too late. Just come off the track there. Fair credits for completing the run, but obviously this is his first run. He's got another one left. It's not like the pairs competition where you're shouting redo and gambling on it that we seen earlier last week, actually, in fact. So it'd be interesting to see how he plays this one out. Is he going to go safe? Is he going to go balls out? I mean, what would you do in this situation, Ed?
What would I do in this situation? I would make sure that I get a good one down. You know, like if you made a mistake like that in the first run, sure, it can give you the shakes, but oh, look, he's done it again. That's unfortunate. I mean, the practice run really made it look promising, so it's just really unfortunate that he's got a 0-0 there.
We'll wait for the judges' score there. Obviously, it's going to be a 0-0 in our books, but from our point of view, this is it for this lobby. All the contestants who have actually been in have actually had their runs judged. We haven't ended on the best of runs. Obviously, you can see now that Hakasuka's smashing the shit out of his car here. So we'll be back shortly, or temporarily. I'm going to quickly take a break as commentator while they set up the next lobby. So we'll be back very shortly.
Alright guys, that's the end of Lobby 1 of tonight's qualifying for Virtual Formula Drift. And so you'll be joining us when we return for the second lobby, and hopefully we can see some really good drifting in that lobby, and I hope you will come back and join us, or just don't leave, just stay with us, man, it's cool. We'll be back as soon as the second lobby starts.
Thank you.
Sorry. It's cool, man. You do it again. Oh man. Right, are we going live soon? I don't think Stu is very happy. Alright, count us in, Spitz. Might as well start it up soon.
Fuck off. Babe, I need a hug.
Sham. Sham. I was like, count us in. Spitzy, I'm ready. I mean, Spitzy had already started it, and I was laughing. Oh my god. Alright. I just want to give a shout out, guys, to a guy in this lobby. He's a big fan of mine, ESO Steve. You know, I've had so many friend requests off him, and I know he's a big fan of mine, so I just want to say hi to him.
And also my mum's in the crowd, so shout out.
Okay, so first up, SCS Wanted. On a Falcon paint job on a boss. It's got a good line actually. We can only expect the best from SCS Wanted here. He's a really good drifter.
Okay, for those of you who are new to the drift stream, I'll let Ed do his bit first, and then I can get in. Yeah, so Wanted's doing his runs.
Yeah, here he goes again. Nice 80 miles an hour at least going into that first corner. And a nice clip on the outside, bringing it in for the inside clip. Hopefully he doesn't run wide here. No, it's just right. Can he reach the wall? Bang on. Oh no! He came up short on the hairpin there, unfortunately, and seems he skipped it with all 4 tyres. That means it's going to get a 0.
That's quite unfortunate for the drifter, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really unfortunate. He had a really good run going there.
While the guys are redoing all the stuff here, I'm just going to quickly give a synopsis here. For those of you who are live watching the drift stream, we are actually live within Forza Motorsport for round 4 of the Virtual Formula Drift Championship. It's an interesting lobby 2. There's some big names actually present with us today. Obviously ESO Steve, like you've said. We have Sublime Drifting Blinky as well. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on. I believe there's a few members from DSi and DMI present here as well, so that'll be interesting to see how they get on. And SCS Wanted, as you can see, he's actually on track at the moment.
Yeah, he's going all out. I think for that run he was just trying to make sure he didn't make a mistake again. You know, he's pulling out all the stops, but still trying to make sure he's not going to make any mistakes and ruin his run again, because that was his last chance to get a proper run in for himself. Okay, we're just waiting to hear who is going next. And it looks like ESO Steve is the next guy to be going for us. He's going to be going for his practice runs. Like I said, he's a big fan of mine. Big shout out to him. I'm liking how he's running the S2000. We saw him in the pairs comp running the S2000. It's a really cool car, and you know, if you run it right, it can actually be a pretty powerful weapon in a drift battle. It looks like he's running a really nice line, kissing the rumble strips as he's coming around with all the clipping points, and oh, we can expect something good here.
I'm actually expecting a few things from Steve, obviously, because Steve himself won the 3rd round of Virtual Formula Drift. Obviously, he's qualified quite high in previous events, and he also won the event. Obviously, you've got to get through the qualifying runs first and then to the tandem stages, so hopefully he'll do quite well here.
Oh, we just heard that SCS Wanted got an 86 for his second run there. Obviously his first one was a 0 because he got all 4 tyres off the road, unfortunately, at the end of his run. But an 86, that's a respectable score, and I think he should be happy with that. It should get him through to the battles. But here we have Steve going for his first run. A nice speedy entry there. Consistent line, perfect on that first clipping point. Could have been better on the outside clip there. But as he comes around into the next clipping point, can he kiss that rumble strip? He does. And the next clipping point. How close is he going to get to the wall? Maybe could have been a bit closer. There was a couple of feet between him and the wall. Oh, and he's dropped a couple of tyres on the hairpin there. He was a bit conservative. Maybe he could have gone a bit harder into that last corner and maybe got a bit of a better clip there.
It looks like he's caught. It looks like he's cut the corner a little bit short in the final bit. Also, I'm a bit, I wouldn't say disappointed, but I'd have expected him to attack the wall slightly a bit more there. Obviously, he's a few in-game feet away from the wall, so obviously his style is going to go against him here. So we'll just await the judges' verdict on this, obviously.
Man, I can't get over how cool that S2000 is. I'm loving the carbon fibre on it. How it's slightly different colour to the black of the car. It's not quite black either, it's like a really dark grey, which I love. You know, it's so good to see cars that maybe just like an off-white or off-black. It's really cool. He's coming into his second run here. Plenty of angle on that first clip. He's going all out. Nicer on the outside clip there. And again, he's good on that inside clip. You were saying, Stewie, you were going to put a word in there.
I was going to say, on the actual third turn, he could make use of a tie drop there. He could have gone a lot wider and got a bit more angle. That is legal in this round. He can do that, and I'd have expected him to do that, at least to bust the angle through that section. Obviously, speed will play against you there because you've got to get 45 miles an hour on the speed zone. And again, the wall, he's a few feet away on my screen. I'm not sure if it's the same for you guys. So it'll be interesting to see how the judges do tot it up, but obviously Steve makes better use of the actual battles rather than the qualifying itself, so we'll see how he gets on.
Yeah, his second run was definitely better than his first run there. It was a bit more attacking, didn't cut the last corner, and I think he was a bit closer to the wall tap. He could have got closer, but obviously you don't want to muck it up, so you know, I would be very happy with that run. He did really well.
It does seem like he concentrated more on the inside clipping points, trying to get them a lot better than the outside, obviously. Maybe he's not got the feel of the ride there, but we can see, obviously, the final turn where he didn't do too well in the previous run. He'd managed to get that really good, and obviously coming in to the third turn, he could have gone wide. He could have gone wide on the third clip, but he didn't. He stayed very tight to the corner, and he managed to get the actual clipping point on the inside there as well, coming through. So I wouldn't say it was a risky run. He has played it quite safe, but we're just going to wait for his scores.
Yeah, I think I heard that he got a 78 and a 91 there for ESO Steve. So that's a really decent score. A 91 is definitely going to get him through to the battles, I think. And next up we've got DTE Latino on your screens, and he's rocking the R34. Looking pretty standard R34. I don't think he's got a kit on it or anything, but he's running an Advan Yokohama paint. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. I have to say, I really like those stripes. It's the kind of stripes that I run on my Supra. Well, I did run for quite a while on my Supra. It's a really nice pattern that he's got going. And he's going to be going for his first run now. Okay, so DTE Latino, here he goes. Initiating on the first clip there, at about 65 miles an hour. Nice on that outside clip. Can he make full use of the width of the track as he's coming down the straight? Really nice on that outside clip. Could have got a little bit closer to the wall, but it's still decent. And a really nice last clip. It was really good.
I felt like he attacked the wall quite well there, considering some of the other runs we've had. It hasn't been too bad. First clipping point, he absolutely killed the clipping point there. It's right on, he just kissed it. I've heard the judges may have mentioned that there was a slight tyre drop just after the speed zone coming to the outside, but it may not affect his run too much, because that was an overall impressive run from the drifter himself.
It definitely was an impressive run. I'd expect a high score from that. guess he'll be going for his second one pretty soon.
Just looking at the car itself, this is going to be one of the main cars used for the tournament. A lot of drifters are Nissan Skyline drifters, and of the favourites, usually get the R32 and the 34. We've actually got multiple R34s in this lobby present on track, and I believe there's a Skyline R33 on track as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on.
That was really close to the wall. He pulled a lot of angle coming onto the straight there, and he almost went into the wall. He almost stalled his car into the wall, but managed to just about save it without hitting it. It was amazing. Some really good car control.
Almost a negative that turned into a positive with that run there. It's interesting to see. We'll obviously get the verdict from the judges themselves, but a very good, clean run there. Very aggressive as well. It wasn't like it was laid back. It wasn't smooth. The whole thing. It looked like he attacked the track very well.
Okay, next up we have TKX going for his practice run. He's running a very interesting paint job on that BMW.
But then again, he is a member of Team Washing Machine, and Team Washing Machine do have interesting paint jobs. I remember back on FM2 and FM3, for the brief period that they were present in FM3, they've always had interesting paint jobs, and obviously Team Washing Machine is an interesting name to have as a drift team. TKX is no stranger to the forums either. If you head over to ForzaMotorsport.net, you can obviously attach yourself to the forums there, but he's a good, solid drifter in his own right from the start. I'm not sure if he was FM1, but definitely in FM2 he did attack a few teams with the team battles that were very popular back then.
Okay, we've just heard from the judges that Latino got a 92 on his first run and an 81 on his second, so 92 will be his qualifying score.
Just following TK into his first qualifying run.
Nice on that outside clip. His tyre was right on the line.
Oh, that's unfortunate there. He didn't even get the clipping point there into this turn. However, he did attack it very well, the actual start of the run. Very fast as well. Nearly 70 miles an hour, carrying through the speed throughout the whole turn. So it'd be interesting to see how the judges do it, obviously.
Yeah, the first corner looked promising, but unfortunately he straightened up on the straight there, and I think that might be a 0 for him on his first run. Anyway, here he goes for his second run, coming up on the 50 roll. And here he goes, TKX going into the first corner. He's reaching about 68 miles an hour in the first clip. Oh, and it looks like he's spun out on the second clipping point. That's really unfortunate. Double zeros there for TKX. He's got to be frustrated with that. He was so promising. I think he could have banked a really nice score there, but you know, it's just the way things go sometimes, Stu.
Okay, so we're going to be following DSi Anarchy, obviously, as TKX will probably be going to the back of the track now, very frustrated. An interesting car choice. It's not as popular, but it is a popular drift car as heritage goes. We've got DSi Anarchy, and he's using a Fairlady Z or a 350Z, 2003 version of the car. And you can see he's got a interesting paint job. It looks like an almost cracked marble effect, maybe.
I think that's really nice, actually.
It is quite a modern addition now to as paints go. We've gone from the crazy D1 kind of paint jobs that everyone used to rock between 2001 and 2007. all the way up to 2010, we've seen more modern infrastructure as paint jobs go. But now you can see the more popular choice. If you look at like Formula Drift and D1 GP, everything's starting to standardise now. Everything's going to more of an abstract art. And we can see this on this little drifter here with his Fairlady Z's. He's rocking almost a cracked marble paint. It's modest. It's not too much. It's just a base paint. He's put some logos over it, so it's quite a nice looking car. I'll give him credit there. I think it's very good.
Yeah, it's cool. And I've got to give respect for someone running a 350Z. It's not the easiest car to be getting up to speed and up to standard. I've always found them slightly difficult, but once you nail it with a 350Z, it's actually a really brilliant car for drifting. And he's going to be going for his first run here. So Stewie, why don't you walk us through it?
Okay, I'll walk you through it. Obviously, he's just going through the 50 roll now. He's got 78 miles an hour coming into this first clipping point, which is just narrowed down to 66. He actually murdered that first clipping point. I thought he did really well there. This clipping point, it looks like he's dropped a tyre. He's straightened up on the run. It's gone all higgledy-piggledy for him. That might be because he's got too much angle. He's trying too hard. Maybe reinitiating after that first turn there. Very unfortunate, but he's done really well on the actual first clipping point. He got decent speed. But like you said with the Fairlady Z, it's a really, really good car if tuned right. I know on previous instalments of Forza Motorsport, it's been a better car. It hasn't been as popular on this instalment of the game, even though the game does have some more. I believe it's an additional Nismo kit that's available. So it's had some homework and some new additions added to the car. It's just the car hasn't performed in game the way the game's changed, and we can see that with this drifter here. He's putting too much thought into the run. I think he should just go really easy on it, in my opinion. Just calm it down, don't be too aggressive, keep it nice and smooth, because smoothness equals style, in my opinion. Keep the whole run very smooth and consistent. I believe you'll get a better judge score. Just keep calm.
Yeah, well, as we can see, he's going into his second run here, hoping for a better run here. He's doing a lot of straightening out, a lot of corrections going on. He's trying not to spin out, trying to keep it all together. All in all, it's not a bad line, apart from the second clipping point. All the rest of it's been actually pretty good. The only thing he was lacking really was a bit of speed.
Oh
dear.
I could actually see on the telemetry he's trying to feather the throttle, sorry, round there on the last apex, and he's not done too brilliant there. He must be pretty disappointed with himself.
Yeah, that's a 00 for him there.
If it doesn't get a 0, it's going to be a very low score. But I mean, his second run was a lot better. You can see he was getting more mind for the clipping points rather than the actual consistency throughout the turn. So he got half the job done. He just needed to keep consistent. Obviously, practice makes perfect, and DSi Anarchy isn't a stranger to the forums. He is on there, so he'll be looking to improve going into the next round, which will be round 5.
Well, it looks like next up we have KSI A Real, or A Real? How would you say that? I don't really know how you would say it. As Real. I don't know. As a Real. Anyway, he's rocking the R33 here. Interesting paint job, a bit of Forza font on the side there. Interesting Falcon logo. Yeah, each to their own, I suppose. Alright, so coming up for his first run here. Not sure if he followed the 50 roll there. Coming into the first corner pretty straight. Missing the second clip. Straightening up. This isn't looking like a good run for...
I'm actually listening to the judges in the background. They're saying it's not too good. Unfortunately, he's straightening up. I'm not sure if he's dropped tyres there, but he's just straightening up. It's a very... Whether he's nervous or inexperienced, obviously we don't discredit anyone for qualifying, but you look at the pack of people that have qualified before and put some solid runs. You see this guy, he's not doing too well. I don't want want to kind of down his confidence at all, because he's got the ability there, and this is the first time we've seen an R33 on track as well. So we'll just see how he gets on with his next run. I mean, if he's listening now, my advice would be just keep it steady. Don't just get the speed for the speed traps and don't worry about the rest. Just carry on, just pull through. At least you'll get a score down instead of getting some double zeros.
Yeah, well, at least he managed to finish the run. You know, it's you know, as long as you get a score in there, you've got something to work on and represent yourself with. And you know, coming into that first corner, though, he looks really good, and he gets a good second clip. But unfortunately, he just bogs down, straightens up. He needs to use more throttle and more consistent oversteer as he's doing that. You know, there's some good elements there in his run, but you know, some of it is just not consistent enough to put him on, you know, the sort of level that we expect here at VFD. You know, there's a certain level that's being set by the others, like, you know, 90 scores coming in, but you know, sometimes it's just not enough. It looks like he's just left. Obviously, he didn't feel very good about his runs.
It looks like he's either rage quit or he's just turned his Xbox straight off, or I don't know, maybe someone's just disconnected him there. It's interesting you should say. Looking at the run, it was a better run, a bit more confident. He did on the second clipping point just straighten up there and kind of drove into the corner. But his first turn and his final turn, they were pretty good as the turns actually go. But unfortunately, he's obviously rage quit or something like that, which is unfortunate for the drifter.
Yeah, it's never mind, eh? You know, pretty bad runs anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. But anyway, Tyre Slayer is up next. He's going for his practice run, so he's running the SC300, the Lexus, and you know, it's interesting someone running this car because it's a big, wide car. You know, it's and unfortunately, it's the kind of car that's quite difficult to get up to a really high standard on Forza. You know, sometimes it's just you know, it only gets 265s on those rear tyres, and for some cars that are running like 325s or something, you know, it's not going to stand much chance.
I mean, for me, I've got a personal grudge against this car because it has got the makeup to be one of the most awesome drift cars on the game. Until you look at the engine swaps that are available, unfortunately, it's not the Toyota version that we were hoping for. It's actually the Lexus version. So the game only integrates some stupid Lexus engines that you can use, which don't really help the car. Obviously, everyone would have loved the 2JZ swap for the car, which would have been awesome.
Yeah. Had this been Forza 3, we would have had a 2JZ swap, but for some reason on Forza 4 they decided to change their mind. But never mind, he's going for his first run. Bit of a late initiation. But
they may have only procured the license through Lexus instead of Toyota. So
yeah, it's unfortunate. I think the best engine that you could probably put in this car is the V8 from the ISF. I can't actually hear whether or not he's got that on. I've got the sound turned down, so I don't get it coming through the mic here. But you know, hopefully, he got that.
So, what's your thoughts on the run? It wasn't the most impressive that we've seen all night.
Yeah, it was looking good coming into the first corner, but you know, it was a really late initiation that gave him a bad line into the rest of the turn. And you know, it's the kind of track that where if you get one thing wrong, it's going to affect you for the rest of the run. Really, you're not going to be able to hit down a consistent run. You need to do it from the start to the finish, get exactly what you need. Hopefully, he can pull that off here as he enters into the first corner. Coming in, it's good speed. Again, he's cut it shallow into the second corner, and you know that means he's going to miss the next clipping point, and he's got a really long way to go down this straight. You'll find that if you cut that first corner too shallow, then it makes the straight coming up to the hairpin even longer. It makes it even difficult to get to the hairpin. So, you know, he's cut the hairpin short, gone straight over it, and that's going to be a 0 because if you drop all 4 tyres, that's a 0.
I'm pretty sure we haven't touched on it yet, but Asriel, the guy who rage quit earlier, he he actually got 40 for his first run and a 36 for the following run. So it's a shame he could have heard the results. It's going to be broadcasted live anyway, so everyone else is going to know about it. It's a shame for the drifter. He looked quite promising during the second run, but again, maybe it's just lack of practice. Maybe it's lack of experience as a drifter, but he hasn't done too well there. And if he's rage quit there, or if he's got frustrated and turned the Xbox off, it does show a sign of immaturity. But obviously, we're not going to judge him on that basis. Hopefully, he can be back for round 5 and display a bit more of a positive attitude and a positive run. We've also got the scores for Tyre Slayer's run. The first run he got a 53.5, and on the second run, for obvious reasons, for not getting all the clipping points, straining up and tyre dropping, Tyre Slayer got a 0 for the final run. So Tyre Slayer's going into VFD with a 53.5.
Just as you were saying that, Boston Troy was killing it on that wall tap. He almost scraped all the way down the wall tap and almost spun out at the end of the run, but held it together and put down a really decent run. Drift Machine Boys running a pretty cool paint job here. A bit like a grey camo effect going across their cars with skull and crossbones down the side. Looks pretty cool.
I believe the actual some of the tears they put on the car, it's almost like a glittery base or an undercoat. It's a very nice car. I mean, it looks the part for a Formula Drift style championship. So I've been impressed. I'm really impressed. Obviously, the run was great, but the car looks awesome during the run as well. So obviously, judges aren't actually judging what your car looks like, but from a visual perspective, it's a very good paint. First turn, he's slightly off the clipping point, and again for the second turn, he's not making use of the tyre drop there to go wider here. So obviously this run isn't as good. He's just dropped a tyre coming into the 4th clipping point, which is just on the wall. So he hasn't done the most impressive run here from what we've seen from the first run. A nice little wall tap on the exit of the final turn. Props to him for doing that. Hopefully he'll get some style there. Style points added on at the end, but the run wasn't too great itself.
Yeah, it was decent. I say I'm a bit of a sucker for wall taps, so I would have given him more score just for the fact that he got nice and close to that wall at the end. I have to say it's a skill trying to judge your speed and angle coming up to a wall, and being able to get it that close without touching the wall. It takes some real skill, and I'm really impressed by that. Okay, so next up we have FNK Ronic. I've been lucky enough myself to be able to drift with Ronic a few times, and I have to say he's a pretty good drifter. I'm expecting something pretty good from him. Hopefully he doesn't drop all 4 tyres like he just did in his practice run, but he's still got his 2 runs here. He's been sitting around waiting for quite a while to do his run, so hopefully he's still got it in him. Okay, so for Boston Troy, we got a 91 on his first run and an 87.5 on his second run, which is really good. He's done well with the 91. I say that's probably going to secure him a place in the top 32. So he should be happy with that. And we should have Ronic going for his first run pretty soon. He's just getting some heat up in his rear tyres. Okay, here he goes. Into his 50 roll.
I'm actually watching the run from a drifter's point of view here, who's kindly sat on the side of the track, so I've got an interesting view here of the run itself.
He's a bit off that second clipping point, unfortunately. He lost a lot of speed because of that. But for the rest of the run, he's managed to keep it together.
He's took a very nice wide line into the fourth clipping point now. I'm not sure what he's done on the final turn from my view here. Obviously, the judges
he almost spun out on the final turn there. He managed to just catch it, but it was pretty sketchy coming out the last turn. Hopefully he can pull it all together. I know he can pull it all together and make a really good run for the second run. If he can just work on where he made little mistakes here and there and just pull it together and make it a really solid run, then I'm sure he can get into the 90s well. Nick, he's got the skill for that.
Oh, absolutely. We've seen it in the pairs qualifying. He's done quite well in that, obviously, Simply Funky Joshy's tournament.
Okay, here he goes for his second run, going into the 50 roll. Speeding up for the first corner, hitting almost 80 miles an hour coming into the first clip. A consistent 59 miles an hour as he travels through the corner, scrubbing a lot of speed because he's run too shallow in the second clip.
He's got a tyre drop coming in as well onto the actual wall tap area, onto the fourth clipping point, and it looks like he's just scraped the last turn as well. Obviously his first run was a lot better, but look at the wall tap he got on the exit of the final turn there. Props for style there. Obviously Ed Mard's a sucker for that, and he nearly took out all the other competitors' bumpers as well, so obviously showing him what he can do there. He may not get extra star points for that, but he definitely gets a medal for bravery, really taking out SCS Wanted's front bumper. Obviously when he's off the track there, Wanted will be like, I think Wanted is too phased by events like this, so we'll see what happens. It's interesting to see what the judges will say.
Ronic's a great drifter, man, and whatever score he gets, he should know that he's a really good drifter, and he deserves a good score.
It looks like on the live stream, people can't see some of the paint jobs that we're talking about. Ronic was rocking a purple Skyline earlier, with almost like a white accent paint job on it. So should they say the replays, then you might be able to find the images within the Show Your Drift Cars.
Looks like up next we have Exquisite Cone.
Just looking at this guy's car, he looks like he's bouncing up and down like a lowrider, as if he's just trolling the streets of Compton here. It looks pretty awesome. It's pretty amazing to see on the track. I know some of the judges, they're not actually laughing at the car, but they are laughing at the fact that it's just bouncing up and down on the soft suspension.
It's rolling around like a boat.
Okay, so modest 68 miles an hour into the speed zone. He hasn't come wide enough for me onto the second clipping point. Third clipping point, obviously he can take a tyre drop. He's done very well to keep on track here. Quite close to the wall there on this run. Obviously the judges are eating their words here because they're laughing at the soft suspension, but it is definitely paying off in this run.
I don't know how he's doing that. What's going on? You turn up with a car that looks like it's behaving more like a boat than a car, and then manages to pull that out. This is pretty cool.
This car is amazing.
Right, so Ronic got a 70.5 and a 76, which is a pretty good run actually for him. That's not bad.
It's definitely something to improve on though. Obviously he just needs to work on some of his transitions and some of the flipbacks into some of the corners there. We know Ronic's got the ability, which is how we can get on the wall and murder some of the clipping points. It's just all the other pieces of the puzzle needs to sort out. So we're actually on board with Exquisite Cone. He's getting quite some speed. He's got 64 miles an hour coming into that turn. He's just run over the rumble strip slightly onto the first turn. Obviously tire drop is allowed on the third turn here. This run may be a little bit more brave here. Let's see how close he can get to the wall. Not as close as the first run. I think the first run is definitely the run for this guy. The second run here isn't too great, but it's awesome to see the car's body roll is just leaning all over the place. It's looking like he's got almost hydraulics on the car. It's very interesting to see on track, and it's a nice car choice as well. It's different. It's definitely different.
Gangsta lean, yo. That's what it is. Right, so next up is SD Blinky from Sublime Drifting. He's actually been sitting at the other end of the track for most of this. Like, he hasn't even been lined up ready and waiting until now. So, you know, he's obviously ready.
I'm still going at him from that first run, that Exquisite Cone ad, man. He's actually coming past Blinky now. Look at it, he's fucking leaning all over the place. It's awesome. I'm expecting it to pop a wheelie right next to the competitor here. Just absolutely, that car is amazing. I think we should get a report on him at some point. Let's see if anyone in the live stream chat is actually talking about the car.
Hopefully Blinky gets the message and goes for his first run pretty soon. Right, so Exquisite Cone got a 76 and a 75 for his 2 runs, respectively. Unfortunately, he got a little bit of a drop on his points because he missed a speed zone, but you know, it's really cool to see him getting a pretty decent score from a boat of a car. It looks like Blinky's killing it here in his Camaro.
Obviously just giving you the actual confirmed scores for Exquisite Cone. He actually got 76 in the first run. Obviously, as Edmund said, he did miss one of the speed zones, which would have given him 5 more points, which would have actually put him up to an 81 overall. The second run he got a 75, so he's not done too bad. He must have obviously got more points of style in the first run, and he's done a little bit better on his second run in different areas. Blinky doing a good run there as well. We're just watching him now. He's not speeding in the 50 zone. He's doing quite well there, keeping the speed down. He's entered the first turn with 67 miles an hour, and he's slowly maintaining that. A little bit too slow for me onto the second clipping point. He could have gone a little bit wider and maintained a bit more speed coming through. Let's see how he gets on with the wall. Quite close to the wall, but he didn't ride it enough for me. He wasn't too close there for a long period of time. Final turn, he could have exited a little bit closer to the wall on that turn. I wouldn't be too happy with that run. I mean, I'd be happy, but I know that Blinky can offer more than that.
Yeah, I'd say that's good banker run, and you know, go all out for this next run, mate. Just don't mess it up and make sure it's a good one. It
Obviously,
cool.
It's easy for us to say from our point of view here because we can we're just sitting comfortably in our chairs here. Let's see how the drifter can do it at the end of the day. It's a tournament. Entering with 60 miles an hour just on the speed zone there. He's not doing too well on this corner. He's done well, but he hasn't got as wide as the outside clipping point suggests. Third turn, he's done exceptionally well there. Fourth clipping point, he hasn't hugged the wall. He hasn't gone too close. He's a few feet out, and on the final turn, I believe he's just, instead of getting a wall ride there, which he was hoping to get, he's just actually impacted the wall.
Alright, looks like the last competitor for us this evening in this Lobby 2 of Virtual Formula Drift Round 4 is Cat Saber. Is that still his... He's slightly changed his gamer tag after joining DMI. But yeah, Cat Saber, long-time drifter. He's been competing in all the Virtual Formula Drifts since the beginning. Hopefully he can put down a pretty good run here. He's running the really old Corvette C2, which is interesting. And it's actually a very interesting car to be using because not many people regard it to be, you know, a good car to drift. But actually, it's really light, and it's got a good tyre width on it. And obviously, what with it being a Corvette, you've got the ability to put that awesome Corvette engine swaps in it. So you know, it's got the potential to be a pretty good car to drift.
It's almost like the I'm going to get some spam here for saying this. It's almost like the Shelby Cobra. It's, I wouldn't say it's in the white category, but it's definitely got the white there. It's just another alternative use of a car with a big engine. It's light. It looks like it's got quite a good distribution of weight overall in the car, so it'll be nice and comfortable in the turns. Hopefully he puts a solid run down. I'm not a fan of the paint job he's rocking here on the car. I think if you're going to have a nice classic car, you shouldn't be rocking the Falcon kind of stuff at all. He has thrown out an awesome run here, kissing every clipping point. It looks like he's just dropped a tyre, which has affected the run on the fourth clipping point, which would be the wall ride area. But an overall impressive run. First turn, he's definitely hit the speed zone. Second turn, the transition was amazing. It's just unfortunate that coming through onto the wall area, he's dropped a tyre, which has just completely shut his run off from there on out.
Alright, so it looks like everyone has done their 2 qualifying runs in this lobby. Just waiting for the scores from the judges for Capsaver Hose runs.
Fortunately, we didn't commentate too much on the final run. Captain did do. We've just been discussing with the judges some confirmed dates and times for the actual top 32 shootout, which will be happening tomorrow at 8 p.m. UK time or 3 p.m. Eastern time. Obviously, you guys can work it out from there in your respective time zones at what time that will be. We'll be back shortly for the third lobby of qualifying. Should there be another lobby up, obviously we'll be back here very shortly. I've actually got the score coming in for this drifter here. His first run he got a 90, so we've done quite well there. Obviously he's got a lot of style into those corners. He did have a mishap on the track, we felt, but a very, very, very good run there. Overall, very impressed. And the second run he got an 86. So he's got a good set of figures. He should make the top 32 shootout, you'd have thought. But obviously there's a lot more drifters to come yet, and they could easily knock a few of these guys out of the park, providing they all put some exceptional runs down. I've been Exy Stewie, my co-host Edmard here, and we will be back shortly for the next lobby. Okay, so we are back for VFD round 4. This is obviously the replication of the wall. Just looking at the drifters that are in the lobby at the moment, I'm just going to give you a rundown of who's in here. Starting from the top on my screen, we've got Jamaican Boy 213. He's using a Toyota Supra 98. An interesting car choice for VFD. It's a common car that people use on Forza Motorsport 4. It's a proven car, so I'd be interested to see how that performs on track. Obviously, moving down further on the list, we have Driftbound BD. He's using a Lexus IS 350. Now BD, or Bayday, I'm not too sure how you pronounce the gamer tag. When we done the pairs comp, he done quite well in that event as well. We've seen some positive runs from him, so I'll be expecting him to lay down some good runs. Going further down the list, we have DMI Lasers. He's using a Chevy ZL1, so I'm expecting that car to do very well. It's a proven car again on the actual game itself, and being a member of DMI, he should be getting some good runs. He's one to watch. Another guy, Twitch 666 Cole. I haven't actually heard too much about this drifter. Obviously, I'm not as in touch with the drift lounge as I used to be. He's also using a Chevy Camaro ZL1, and his PI of the car is just scraping under the 700 bracket. Obviously, anything over 700 puts the car automatically into R3 class, which is deemed illegal. So he's running a very, very high PI car there. We also have Go Razor, who is using the S14 that we've seen in previous tournaments, such as the pairs competition. Go Razor is a drifter from Team Zenki. He's also a former member of a few various other teams. One to mention is Subject Drift, obviously a popular team through the FM3 and the start of FM4 era. So he may be one to watch. Hopefully he's improved since the last tournament. Further down the list, we have AMLG Scores, or SK Raz. I'm not too sure how you pronounce the gamer tag. I do apologise for that. He's using a Subaru WRX05, and the Subaru, again, it's quite a talky car. Some people have problems dealing with the car itself, but hopefully we can see a good run from him and see a very exciting Subaru being laid out on the track here. Another guy to watch out for in the lobby is Amp Demon. He's a very good drifter, and we've seen in past tournaments he's done quite well. He's using the Chevy Camaro SS, so that'll be interesting to see as cars go. Maybe this is the first time we've seen it on the track. I'm not too sure what cars we're using. Eccentric King B, another drifter I haven't come across. He's using a Fairlady Z69. This is the first time I believe we've seen this car in the tournament for this round. It's quite a light car in comparison to the other Nissans, and it's an old classic car. So I'll be excited to actually see how the car performs. It's quite a nifty little car. So again, hopefully we can see some performance out of that drifter. And finally, the last drifter in the lobby is I Taked Them Cookies. I Take Them Cookies is actually the co-leader of a new team called Phantom 9, which is a group of Forza veterans in their own belief, and he's using a Nissan GTR 2010. We've seen that in a few competitions before, and some fantastic paint jobs produced for that car as well. So hopefully when we get on track we can see what it looks like. So I'm just going to go ahead and spectate the actual lobby now, and we will be given the driver ranking shortly of who to go first.
Alright, so first up we have Twitch 666 Cole. He's running this paint job with District down the side. I'm not really sure. It looks like a bit of a team paint job. for him and his team. There's a few of them running it here. It's a pretty cool paint job, and I like how it's different for each car as it molds around the shape of the car. And here he goes. Let's see what sort of... let's see how Twitch does. Alright, a bit of a shallow run into the first left-hander here. Not a bad line though. I think if he went a bit more aggressive there, then we could have expected something a little bit better. It was slightly slow. I was expecting this car to be really quick, but I don't know, maybe not.
It's definitely an aggressive car. Most drifters, when they are using this car, they go for aggressive runs, obviously because it's got the speed there, but it's got wide tyres, so you can recover a lot mid-drift as well. So you can. It's quite a gutsy little car. So I'm hoping this guy can give it a bit more aggression into the turns, a bit more speed, and try and push a bit more angle. It looks like he's lagging slightly on my screen, but maybe it's a bit different on the live stream for the drifters.
It's funny, he's got a red stripe on his hood, and it's not actually in the middle of the car. Anyway, so he's going for his first run here, entering into the first corner. Nice first clipping point. Could have got a bit closer to that second clip. How is it going to line him up for the third clipping point? Not too bad, not too bad. And then the wall ride. Oh, he was miles away from that wall ride and miles away from the last clipping point. Maybe not the best run that he could have put down. Hopefully his second run will make up for that.
Just looking at the live feed, comments on YouTube, some people are a little bit unhappy with some of the judging calls, but obviously they will be because people don't understand the different dynamics that make up the judging call. Obviously you're looking at the overall impression, speed, angle, and obviously how the actual clipping points are used. So some people may feel that they've had a better run than someone else, but their run has been a little bit better because of overall style and impression on the judges.
So some pretty consistent runs there from Twitch. Not too bad. He was twitching a little bit for me, so couldn't see if he was holding a consistent angle all the way through.
I see what you did there. Okay, we're following Eccentric King B here on track. Interesting car choice, as I said earlier. It's the 1969 Fair Lady Z here. It's a very old, classic kind of Japanese car. It's looking like he's getting quite a good run out of the car. Some of his angle might not be as good, but it's looking like he's quite smooth considering the car, and I believe he's on controller as well. So it'd be interesting to see how he gets on in the overall runs.
I think something really weird's happened to me here. He actually does not exist in my game. Like, I can't see him. He's not on the list of people to choose from to spectate. Currently on my screen, there is no car driving around the section.
He's done a very nice run there, obviously quite fast in, and he's got the outside clipping point just perfect there. Unfortunately, he hasn't gone too good into the fourth clipping point there, just on the actual running of the wall. But the last clipping point there, he may have just dropped a tyre, but he has lost all the speed into that final turn. But he may have just saved it there. It looks like he stalled the car out, and he's just almost dragged it through that corner there. So we'll just see how the judges score that, obviously, but he's also got another run he can go for here. The scores for Twitch's run were a 70 for the first run and a 74 for the second run, so it may put him in the bracket. We're not too sure here.
That's a borderline score, definitely. It's really strange for me here. There is no Fair Ladies E for me.
Okay, he's hitting 65 miles an hour into the speed zone. He's taken a nice wide line. Could have gone a little bit wider into the second clipping point. Third clipping point there, he's just kissed the inside there. He's dropped a tyre just on the dirt outside from the wall, but he has got a slight tap on the wall there, so that might boost his score up. Final turn there, he hasn't done too well there, actually attending the clipping point. He's also gone mid corner there, and he hasn't really done anything stylistic towards the end of that turn. But as the run goes with this car, it hasn't been a too bad run. Very good start to the actual run itself. Obviously you can see on the speed zones that we've just seen there, and the angle and impression he got from the first few corners, maybe it's enough to get through. Okay, so we are now following AMLG Scraz, I believe that's the name. This is another drifter who's rocking this district paint job. It's looking pretty awesome here. In the practice run, he's just managed to hit the speed zone of 60 miles an hour there. It might be worth noting for this drifter, he needs to maybe go a little bit wider onto that second turn there. He's not quite getting the outside clipping point. The run isn't looking too bad here. Final turn, he could have come closer to the actual clipping point, and also he could have maybe braved the little wall tap at the end there. That will give him some obvious bonus points there for overall impression of the run, adding some style there. So we'll just await to see that how he does in the upcoming runs. I'd be surprised if it's really high, but it would be well deserved if it is. So hopefully he can surprise us here and push that Subaru with a bit more angle and a bit more balls. King B, the score he got, which is Eccentric King B, he managed to get an 87.5 for the first run and an 83 for the second run. Just following, sorry for my voice there, just following the drifter that's on track now, he has failed to hit the speed zone coming in there. He's very shallow there on the actual speed itself. This run isn't looking too great. It's looking very, very almost amateur. He's there, he's cutting the final turn there. He didn't really brave getting close to the wall there on the fourth clipping point. So hopefully he can do a lot better in the final run here. If he doesn't let the nerves get to him and he just feathers his run and just gets his way through it very nicely, he should get a medium to high score if he just carries through. But obviously we're not sure how well the drifter can do, but hopefully we'll see him at future events and he can start pushing himself.
Yeah, as he was going around the track, he had quite shallow angle, affected his line, his speed. You know, it's the thing about drifting is you've got to go absolutely all out in every aspect if you want to make the most of it. And it looks like again he's a bit shallow on that second clip. He's trying to adjust for it, but it's, you know, in the end it just ends up like making adjustments, trying to change your line. It just ends up slowing you down, and it looks like a very similar second run to his first run.
Yeah, he could have done slightly better on that run. I think he might have held the handbrake for too much, and he's just killed the speed there. He's gone for angle over speed, but most drifters can carry a lot of speed with angle nowadays. So hopefully he can do a lot better than this. Just looking at some of the comments here on the actual live stream itself, you can see that DMI Arctic isn't impressed with the way the judging is, and himself and Pale Horse R1 are getting involved in a bit of a statement issue here, where DMI Arctic has said the overall impression of the judges is whether they're not whether they like you or not, and Pale Horse has said no, it's whether or not they like you and if they like you with the car that you're using. It's unfortunate to see some people's opinions here. It's a bit sad, really, because obviously people are a bit upset about some of the judge scores, but you don't have to vent off some steam in front of everyone else. You could privately deal with the matter. You know.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing. If you feel like that your score doesn't represent your run properly, then you got to take that to the judges. You can't just like moan about it online afterwards. That's not going to get you anywhere. It's going to make you look bad. So, you know, and also at the end of the day, it's not going to change anything. So, you know, I think the judges scored perfectly fairly. So, you know, it's fair enough. Whatever.
Just following the drifter on track here, Necro Gamer, he's also rocking this. I'm actually starting to like this paint more often. This district kind of paint job they're rocking here. Just worth noting, the first few turns, I'm not sure if this was practice. The first few turns he didn't do too well on, but the wall tap in the final turn, the wall area, he was very close to the wall there. It looked very impressive. So hopefully, if you can piece the rest of the pieces of the puzzle together, start to work something out, it'll be awesome.
Looks like AMGL Scrolls got a 59 for his first run and a 61.5 for his second run. So hopefully he might be able to get into the top 32 with that. But we'll have to wait and see. But right now we have Necro Gamer 84 going at it in his Camaro, and he's not doing too bad on his second run. I think he's done a lot better there.
I'm not too sure what his overall speeds were in the speed zones. I was more looking at the line he's getting. Obviously, the judges will give us a score, and that will reflect whether he hit them or not. But again, a lot better than the practice run. We're hoping these ZR1s can push a bit more angle, push a bit more aggressiveness. But he's looking fairly good on the latter part of the track. It's just the start of the track, the start of the course, that he could do a little bit better on. So hopefully we're going to see this in the final run.
We've just heard that he did actually hit both the speed zones just about. So luckily for him.
And on this run, he's hit it a lot faster as well. He actually got 68 going into that, so he's well comfortable. It is a bit slow into the lollipop section, just coming up to the wall there, but he managed to get into the 45 miles an hour bracket. The actual run itself is quite tidy. It wasn't as adventurous as I'd hoped, but it is the last run for him. He's got two choices: either go all out or take it comfortably. You don't want to have a zero run, as we've seen earlier. Hopefully these drifters will come back if they don't make the bracket for the next tournament, because these cars are quite awesome, man. I really do like the paint job and the paint scheme that's going on. It's really clean and really tidy.
Yeah, it's nice seeing them all sitting next to each other as well. It looks pretty cool next to each other. Next up we have Jamaican Boy 213 coming at us in his Supra. Big respect for the guy running the Supra, even if it is smashed up.
Even if it is smashed up, yeah. You can see he was rocking a Jamaican flag on the license plate area of the Super, but it looks like he is he reversed up and shunted. Looking at his practice run, he's looking like he's initiated too late for the first turn, which is completely jaffed up the run. For the practice run itself, he's gone quite wide into the second clipping point zone, and he's foul wide also coming up to the wall. So he knows this himself. So hopefully, I mean, I'm hoping the guy can deliver, because he's quite a good drifter and he's quite well known on the forums as well. I believe this guy's also a current free agent, so if teams are watching this and they like what they see, Jamaican Boy, he's a good drifter and is a good laugh in parties as well. He's not a character for everyone. Obviously, people have differences of opinions, but he's a good guy. He represents the Drift Lounge quite well.
But it looks like we got scores in from Necro Gamer 84. He got an 84 for his first run and an 84 for his second run. So 84's all round. We like 84.
Okay, we're following Jamaican Boy into the first of his runs. He came in with some good speed. He got a 68, which is the average speed we're looking at here. He's unfortunately hit the rumble strip, which has caused him to spin out. Coming into second clipping point there, just after the speed zone, it looked like he'd entered just slightly late, but he just managed to kiss the outside, which is what the judges are looking to see. They're looking to see an outside clipping point there. We want you to run the yellow line. We want you to get as close to that as possible. And some guys aren't brave in it, or they're looking at what they're after. Okay, so his first run's looking like it was a 0 because he has spun and stalled out. He's now coming in with a bit more of a faster entry. He's at 63 miles an hour averaging through that speed zone. He has dropped a tyre coming onto the second area, so I'm not sure if he'll get penalised for that, as he has got... he's completely jacked the run up there. He's hit the wall, he's spun out. It's unfortunate for the drifter. It did held a lot of promise. Obviously using a Supra there. We are quite biased to Supra drivers, because myself and Edmar do like to use Toyotas. Unfortunately, it looks like he is bailing out the competition now with 2 scores of 0. He just needs to keep his nerve, keep his cool. Maybe he needs a bit more practice on the track as well. It's not the most familiar section for people to use, and it looks like he has genuinely backed out the game as well. So hopefully we'll see some better results from him in the future. Now we've got another drifter that I believe Ed's quite fond of, and that is BD.
Yeah, BD's the man.
BD is
really
the man.
Smooth, lovely. Yeah, he's running a 350, IS 350, and it's a really cool car. I've much preferred it in Forza
as well, actually.
Do you know what? On the side of there, it's a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Not many people might have realised that.
Is this the Pokemon that's on a black and white version?
Black 2 and white 2.
I'm not gonna lie, I do have a Game Boy 3DS. Not a Game Boy 3DS, a Nintendo 3DS with Pokemon. So
you got black 2 and white 2?
I have white 2. That didn't have black 2 in the stores. Obviously, we're coming away from the point here, but it's awesome to see. Obviously, everyone can be quite mature when it comes to games, and it is a game at the end of the day. You are tuning into a game. If you're going to sit there taking it too serious on the live stream, then I think you need to lighten up a bit. It's a game at the end of the day. I mean, we're laughing about Pokemon. We should be laughing about cars. He's come in here, first run, with a 63 miles an hour. Can he get the 45 speed trap comfortably? 49 miles an hour. He has got a good line there. He could get a little bit closer to the wall there. It would have given him some max impression there, some max style reward points there. But he has got quite close to it, a lot braver than some of the other drifters we've seen earlier. I'd be impressed with that run. I've been quite impressed watching this car do this run. I mean, there's some areas where he could have improved, obviously, to get the ultimate high scores there. He's got the foundations to do that with this car and with his drifting style, but for first run there, I'd be quite impressed.
Yeah, he did really well there. Obviously, white Curum on the side of his car has giving him the power, the pokey power, and you know, you can't really go wrong. I mean, I fucking love Pokemon, so you know, I'm completely biased on this. I don't think I should give an opinion. It's all 100 scores for me from here.
Obviously, the qualifying is just to get you into the tournament. Whether these guys can actually live up to the name by doing the battles is something else. And obviously, the randomness of the brackets as well. Oh, it looks like he's had to ditch this run here on the final turn. Unfortunate for Beatty there. He will be getting a 0 on his second run. Again, what I was touching on earlier, some of these guys may have an easy run to the final depending on how the brackets lie out, and some of them might have more of a harder time competing. But everyone's in with the same chance of winning here. It's how well you do on the track. Anything can happen with Virtual Formula Drift. So we've got the scores for the first run for BD. He has actually got an impressive 91 for that run itself. So he's done very well here. For some of the guys who are on the live stream, obviously, who are asking questions about how the scores are coming on, Spitzy's got 1,000,001 different things he's got to update in the process of this lobby. So obviously, when all the scores are coming in, who he's following, etc., he's got to do different things there. So the scores will be posted up as soon as possible. For the benefit of those who are watching, and obviously all the scores will be posted on the forums either today, tomorrow, well, more than likely tonight or tomorrow, because we have the top 32 shootout live tomorrow from 8 PM UK time or 3 PM Eastern time. We have another Camaro on the track at the moment here, and that is DMI Lasers. Hopefully he can impress us here, because we haven't seen that much of an impression left by the Camaros, and we know full well what these cars can deliver.
Again, I'm having issues here. I think this guy does not exist on my game for some reason. So you're gonna have to take this from me.
Yeah, absolutely. You might have to back out. He's got a comfortable. I'm not sure what he's clocked in there on my screen. He got 59 miles an hour actually on the speed zone there. He got 50 miles an hour on the second speed zone. A good run overall. If I've got the speed wrong here, come close to the wall there. It's very consistent line. Is edging towards the clipping points there. So obviously leave that in the judges' hands. But I'm impressed with this run. This is the first guy that's come out in a Camaro tonight, especially this Camaro, and it's laid down an impressive run. So we're just, obviously the judges are totaling up the scores there. The drifter may not be given this information while he waits on the track, because obviously there's a slight delay between the judges scoring and the next guy or the next run. So while they total up that, we can remain live with Lasers. Coming into the first turn, he's took a very wide entrance to get to that clipping point. Again, very comfortable this time with the speed zone. Nice tyre drop, actually. A legal tyre drop is allowed there, and he's got a very consistent run here, getting speeds of 50 miles an hour into the third clipping point there, and he's come close to the wall. Final turn there he's done very well, and looks like he's got a bit of a wall ride, so props to him for that. Very aggressive but calm run at the same time. He's gone aggressive on some of the stuff he's actually done in the run, but he's very calm and consistent in the overall drifting and transitions of the run. So I'll be very interested to see how the judges score this run, but hopefully it's very high for the drifter. So we're now live with Go Razor. He's changed his paint job up since we've last seen him in competition. He's rocking more of a body kit style clean approach on his S14 here. Obviously he's got some flared fenders, some vents and stuff. It's looking a lot better. Actual hood scoops itself and do a little bit of work. But hopefully he delivers an impressive run here. one of the only guys to use an S14 in this tournament. Looking at the practice run itself, I'd say he hasn't practiced enough for this competition here. But obviously I can't judge too much here. Very, very, very good on the fourth clipping point there. He's come close to the wall. So if he can get the start of the run a little bit better, if he can transition a bit quicker from the first turn, making sure he hits the speed zones there, he should be in for a good run here. I've been impressed, especially after seeing the finality of those turns. DMI Lasers has put up a very high score there. He's actually got a 96.5 for the first run and a 91.5, so I'm very impressed with that run there for Lasers. Hopefully he's obviously not out the competition by a long stretch with that score, so hopefully he does well in the actual bracketed event, which is coming tomorrow in the top 32 shootout. Okay, so we are now following Razor through this run. He's doing quite a slow 50 roll there. He's doing 46 miles an hour, so maybe that'll affect the car. He's ditched the car into the first turn there, and he's not really taking a chance on the second turn. Obviously, he needs to improve on that himself. I'm not sure if the run is null void from this point on, but he's doing a lot. He was. I eat my words there as a commentator. He was doing a lot better in the finality of that. It looked like he got the third clipping point just spot on there, but unfortunately he's gone too far for the wall tap and he's just stalled the car out there. So obviously this run will be non-void. He's done a spin out.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there. I reckon he can do pretty well if he just gets that second clip down and he runs the outside line really well. Then I think for the rest of the run he should have it down really well. So hopefully he can pull it all together on this second run. He should be going for it any moment now. Okay, here he goes. Go Razor. Here he goes for his second run.
Go, 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 go Razor.
He used to be getting up to 50. Leaving the 50 roll, he can only get up to about 76 upon initiation.
He's just scraped the 60 zone there.
Just at 60. Drops 2 tires. Better, straightening up.
I'm guessing the car may not have it. Maybe it's the tune or the driver or his gear ratios, but it's just looking like the car doesn't have enough torque to just push anything through the actual car itself. That's the impression it gives me. Obviously, we know what the car can do. It's a very good drift car in its own right, so I'd maybe put it down to the tune or the driver skill there. But it's just looking like it's struggling. It's bogging down in between clipping point 2 and clipping point 3. So unfortunately, he's going to get 2 zeros there, and he's actually bouncing out of the competition now. It's funny because his 50 rolls were a lot slower than the average drifter. Yet in a tournament, myself and Ed were a part of last weekend, he was the only guy to speed in the speed restricted zones. He was doing 70, 80 miles an hour in a 50 zone after being repeatedly warned by the judges. So it's kind of not worked in his favour this time around. Obviously there's more eyes watching as we've got a bigger audience for the live stream.
Yeah, it's he's obviously learnt his lesson. You don't want to get kicked out of Formula D, do you?
No, it's one of the heritage tournaments that we have on Forza Motorsport that combine with FMDL as the teams. FMDA, should that ever return, that's another single-handed tournament for the individual drifter. We also have EDC and I believe BDC as well coming up in the latter of the year. So, is this the first qualifier for this guy? Okay, so we're actually looking at the first run for I Take Them Cookies. Getting nice speed into the first turn there, but it looks like he's come away from the second clipping point there, which should be an outside. Let's see if he can get a bit of a recovery. Maybe use this as a practice run again. Not very impressed with the run. He's come away from the clipping point. It looks like because his drift has been thrown off from the first part of the track, he hasn't been able to maintain the line he desired through the actual track itself. It's looking like Ed can't see this guy either. I think Ed needs to back out and possibly join in and spectate again. Hopefully refresh the lobby for. Just following this drifter coming in now. He's got 72 miles an hour, enough speed to hold this corner, but he's not initiated early enough, and he's actually overshot the turn and resulted in spinning out. So it's looking for his second run. He's got a 0 here, so I'll be interested to see what the actual score were for the first run. Okay, so we have the scores for I Take Them Cookies. He's got a 70 for the first run, which is quite respectable considering the nature of the run. It wasn't the most spot-on run that we've seen of the night. And unfortunately for the second run, as you would expect, he's got a 0. So that's unfortunately left him out of the competition bracket at the moment. We are now looking at Amped Demon XP. He's rocking another Corvette, sorry, not Corvette, a Chevy into the competition here. Hopefully we can see some promise from this. His practice run wasn't too bad. He's another part of Drift Machine. Look again, that paint job that we've seen earlier with the glittery tears on the car. I really like this paint job. I think it really suits the competition and the car choice. They use it quite well. So coming into the first qualifying, he's got 61 miles an hour into that section, and he's maintaining quite a smooth line into this area. He could have maybe pushed out further onto the clipping point there. Third clipping point, he managed to get that bang on. It's looking very good. Where the wall is, he maybe could have gone closer to the wall there, but he's managed to get in the right angle depth there to just carry himself smoothly through to the final turn there. So I'd give that quite a medium to high scoring run personally if I was a judge, but obviously I'm not. I'm just a commentator. This run isn't too bad overall. I'm quite impressed with this run. Hopefully in the next run we'll see something a bit more adventurous.
Yeah, I think it was a really good solid run, and he should be happy with that and feel like he can really go for it in the second run. I think he could have been a bit more aggressive as he was going around, carried a bit more speed through the corners. As he goes for his second run here, a little bit quicker, and he's pulling a really good line into the second clipping point, getting that tyre drop that he's allowed.
He's also got the extra speed factor as well into this one. Yeah, close to the wall there. I can hear the judges behind in the Xbox Live fight going nice, and again nice on the last turn as well, getting a bit more stylistic values out of the judging score there. He's come very close to that wall. I'm impressed with this car. I think it's awesome. We haven't seen it so far in the event.
He's doing really well. Yeah, I expect a really good score from that last run. It was a really solid run.
This looks like it's the end of Lobby 3. We're obviously not going to disappear just yet because we are waiting for the results of the drift that's just been on track here. I believe it's Amped Demon that was just seen on the track there. A very impressive run, in my opinion. Very humble of the drifter there. And again, I really like this team part. I think it's awesome. If you guys are listening, I want to join your VFD team just to steal your paint because it is awesome. I really like this. Wow from the judges. He got a 91 for the first run and a 92.5. Exactly what I think myself and Edmar would expect from this run. It's been awesome. There are some elements that he could have maybe done better on, but looking at the way he dealt with the walls and the wall taps and just adding that little bit of drifter's own personal flair, getting the right amount of speeds into the corners and getting the right line through and getting early snappy transitions. It's really paid off for the drifter. He's got a very high scoring couple of runs there. And as you can see on the live stream, he's just actually taken out the entire pack there by just launching himself at him. Obviously, this is the end of Lobby 3. We'll be back very shortly with Lobby 4, so stay tuned for that. Also, just going into Lobby 4, I'll be giving a slight synopsis of the lobby and introducing the drifters that are currently there. Stay tuned, guys, and I hope you guys have some interesting stuff to talk about within the live stream now that we've come to the end of Lobby 3.
Yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching Lobby 3 of Virtual Formula Drift. We will be back for Lobby 4.
Okay, guys, we are back for the fourth and final lobby of the VFD fourth round. Just a quick shout out to some of the sponsors because we haven't done this for quite a while. First sponsor being Quantum Designs. Quantum Designs, obviously, you guys know him on the forums. These guys are the guys that produce a lot of replicas and a lot of liveries for drifters, so it's worth checking them out on the Forza Motorsport forums. We have BK's Media, he is sponsoring the event. Also, we have yaydrifting.com and japandriftmagic.blogspot.com. These guys are worth a mention, obviously, because they are to do with the event as well and providing moderate coverage of the event in the future. A big shout out to Smooth Operation Spitzy and the guys running VFD. These guys are putting a lot of time and a lot of effort into the event itself, and you guys don't realize how many problems they encounter in the background just trying to get the drifters on track, just trying to get everything set up over the course of a long period of time. We've been here for 4 hours now, setting the whole tournament up, so it's been a hard, daunting task. looking at the drifters actually in the lobby on track right now, we have one of the crowd favourites, JSI Dwight. JSI Dwight putting a dominating performance in previous sessions, and also in the pairs comp, which is one to watch out for. Himself and Steve, his counterpart from Smooth Operation, they put in a dramatic run, very good, and obviously Dwight himself scoring the highest round of all, getting a 98 in that event. So it's been very entertaining to watch Dwight, and he's using, I believe, a R33 in this event. We've previously seen him in various other cars, such as the Supra, and a very nice paint job as well on this car. He's got an evasive kind of colour scheme on the go here. It looks very clean, it looks very tidy, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes. And the second guy on the track is a gentleman called Michael C. I believe it might be used for different clan purposes. Michael is using a Nissan Silvia S13, and it'll be interesting to see how the car fares up, because I believe this is the first S13 we've actually seen on track tonight. S13 again is a proven car. It's a very grassroots looking car, and I'm enjoying the paint job that he's displaying as well. He's got a black carbon fibre style paint job with some pink highlights. It's not done too bad here. We'll be tuning in with Michael. He is the guy who's doing the first runs here. It's looking like he's got slight gearbox damage that's just popped up on my screen following on the telemetry. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on, whether he wants to pit or not. I'll be surprised. Obviously, let the judges know, or track staff. So he's just done his first practice run there. He may well have just lifted off the clutch a bit too early and shifted, and it was a quick problem with the gears.
Yeah, he shouldn't have any issue. It's only 12% damage on his gearbox, and there shouldn't be any issue at all, really, when you're drifting. Well, hopefully he'll be going for his first run in a minute.
I'm just quickly looking at the stream channel tonight, looking at some of the nice comments that we've got. We've got a nice shout out from, I think it's Rizo Benny. He's saying, Stuart and Edmar, thanks very much for commentating, guys. Very much appreciated. Need to sort out some stuff out though, sadly. And of course we do. We need to sort out some of our ad-lib. Maybe we could be a bit more entertaining, but also the tournament itself. We've had some technical difficulties over the duration of the 2 days of qualifying. So hopefully we see some improvements coming into the actual battles tomorrow. So we're now following Mike, and we're going to see how he gets on now.
Oh, and he's run wide on that second clip, and unfortunately that is going to be a 0 score for him. It's unfortunate because he's not looking too bad for the rest of the run, but you know, it's all about keeping it on track, and we can't judge you if you're not on the track, so that's going to be a 0 for him, unfortunately.
I was looking at the actual speed. He come in with I think it was 64 to 65 miles an hour, so he's maintaining good speed. Fortunately, he may have transitioned a bit too late there, obviously causing him to go wide, as Edmar's just pointed out. Hopefully he gets a better run there. I'm assuming it's just pre-jitters or some nervousness, or maybe he's just disappointed in the run himself. We'll obviously tell. For the second qualifying run that he's doing now, he's maintaining 50 miles an hour through the 50 roll area, which is good to see. He's not speeding. He's getting 65 miles an hour. He could get a little bit closer to his clipping point. Quite smooth coming into the second clipping point there. He looks like he's just fell too shallow into the third clipping point. Obviously judges will give us minus figures for that. He's quite close to the wall there. Very honest attempt there, and he's come very, very, very close to the wall on the final turn there. Props for doing that. He's giving it some style there. Obviously some of these drifters are taking different points there.
It did look like as he was coming out towards the third clipping point, he straightened up and gripped up, so that's it's going to be a double 0 for him there, unfortunately, because if you grip up during your run, then that is going to get you a 0. So it's very unfortunate, but that's just the way it goes sometimes, I'm afraid.
I'd be disappointed there. I think the run was. I thought the run was very good. Obviously, straight up there, not realising the rules that does forfeit you obviously because you're stopping your drift. So unfortunate for the guy, he's not actually going to qualify, but hopefully we can see him in the next VFD event because he's got a lot to improve on there. We're going to tune in now to JSI Dwight. He is the favourite of the guys on the commentary feed. Obviously Dwight's putting some good performances, and looking at this practice run, he is actually kissing all the clipping points here. Nearly hitting that wall there. It would have caused him to absolutely spin out there if he did collide with it. Because he hasn't, he's come very close to it. I will be giving him max points there. If he does this in his next qualifier run, we'll be looking at a very high score again.
Yeah. I can see that on his carbon fibre hood there, you can see that he's running a silver hood with the carbon fibre decals on top, which is a good tip for any of you guys thinking about putting carbon fibre on your car. If you paint the hood silver and then put the carbon fibre layers over the silver paint, then it gives it a bit more of a more carbon fibre effect. It looks a bit nicer. So
gives it a bit more of a glossy look as well.
Yeah,
almost like a liquid carbon fibre.
Alright, here he goes for his first run.
Dwight there entering in maximum angle there, looking very good. Looking like he has got the appropriate tyre drop there. He can do that. That is a legal move within VFD. A very good run. A little bit further away from the wall due to his practice run there, but he's done the right thing there. He's got close to the wall, as other drifters have done. So impressive run there from Dwight.
Yeah, and he's using plenty of angle as well. This is a good example of how you can get lots of angle, lots of throttle, and lots of speed. Everything comes hand in hand with drifting, and when you nail it all at once, then that's what you can do. You can pull out a really cool, brilliant run, just like Dwight just did. Okay, he should be going for his second run now. I think he's just waiting for some confirmation from the judges just to let him know that he's able to go. And off he goes. Okay, for his second run, here we go. Exiting the 50 roll. Lots of speed. Hitting the speed zone perfectly. Not quite as close to that clipping point as might like to be. But the rest of the clipping points are lining up perfectly for him. See how close he gets to that wall.
Oh, he actually hit the wall with quite some force and impact
just
there.
Tapped
but
it. That was lovely.
Just enough to look like it was a good wall tap there. It may have just boosted his points up there, because obviously on the second clipping point you didn't get quite outside enough there. The rest of the run was a very solid run. Obviously coming in close to the other clipping points. What we've seen on the wall there was quite spectacular. I'm not sure if it's the best wall run we've actually seen all night, because I was very impressed with the guy with the yellow lowrider that we seen earlier when he just come across and scared the shit out of the judges.
Yeah, that was
a good
really,
run from
really
Dwight.
good wall tap there. That's the perfect wall tap you're going to get, really. It's when you just hit the wall, but it doesn't actually affect your drift. That's the perfect way to tap the wall and get a good wall ride.
It's interesting, some drifters that I've seen in Formula Drift a few years ago, I'm not going to mention the names, I don't even know, I'm not that interested, but I've seen the pictures. Guy was running the wall and he had a great idea to put some rollerblade actual wheels on the actual boot of the car, so when he was riding the wall, he was actually gliding around it. It looked pretty awesome. But he did on the second run when I was watching it, he actually completely fucked up the back end of the bumper. So all that work, all the modification didn't really pay off, but it's a good invention to see, man.
It looks like JSI Dwight has got a 97 and a 93.5. 97 and a 93.5. That's a brilliant first run. He should be really happy with those scores. That's definitely going to get him through to the top 32.
Looking at the way Dwight does actually battle and does drift as well, he should be, hopefully if the brackets are kind, be making it quite high up the actual standings himself. He's actually put a very good run a very good run in the tournament so far and in previous tournaments. So hopefully he can go all the way maybe. Obviously he's the fan favourite out of all the other drifters that have competed. Some of the drifters that we would have liked to see Sin in the competition haven't actually been present today. And also some of the other drifters that would have liked to have seen in the competition that have qualified tonight haven't actually got the scores needed, or they've had some void runs. So it's been an interesting night qualifying tonight.
Well, yeah, it's been good, and just to round off this last lobby here, DSi Dwight has given us the top score, so you know, it's a really good way to end this evening. My name is Edmard, and I've been joined by XE Stewie, and we've been bringing you guys the virtual Formula Drift, and we hope you enjoyed it. And we will see you tomorrow at, when is it, Stewie? Could you remind us the time?
I'm actually not here tomorrow for the event. I'm actually unable to attend, but the event will be starting at 8 PM UK time and 3 PM Eastern time. So hopefully you guys can join us back. If you guys have got some spare time on a Saturday, you can obviously join in and view it. It will be a very hyped up event, obviously, because we are looking at the actual battles. If we can keep the drama down and keep it off the forums as requested by moderators and members of the community, that would actually be fantastic, because obviously we don't want to lose any more members of the actual Forza Motorsport community, and it proves that we can be mature, we can behave.
Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. My name's Edmard, and I've been joined by Stewie. And we will see you tomorrow. Well, I will anyway. Alright, catch you later.
I think, guys. Catch you later, guys.